Hello everybody. Today we are here to exhibit our final presentation on a project as a part of the fifth deliverable of the Advanced System Analysis and Design course. Myself Akhilesh along with my teammate Ruben and Vinay have worked on developing a web-based application called Medical Tracker, and we are really excited to show our work. So like we spoke in our previous presentation, there are n number of hospitals in India which completely lack an integrated system wherein all the information on patients and doctors is available on a single platform. So the data is scattered, it's all done manually. Patients don't have the proper access to what doctors they want to go to, and doctors at the same time do not have proper scheduling options. So we realized that there should be a system wherein the information on all the patients and all the doctors is available in proper categories on a single platform. So the Medical Tracker aims at solving such normal day-to-day healthcare related problems. So currently all the work is done manually in the hospitals, wherein there will be a person responsible to simply enter all the information in an Excel sheet and to maintain different logs of patient appointments and how doctors are scheduled for that particular period of time. So basically there is no organized way to manage all that manual effort, and at the same time it is in the current systems there is no way to communicate these logs or upcoming appointments to the doctors or to the patients. So the aim of our application is to reduce all this manual effort so that all the transactions and the history data of the patients can be entered into the application in such a way that doctors can easily access it and know which patients are lined up in future, and patients can at the same time also know which doctors are available for whichever service they look forward to. The application also provides an option of scheduling appointments for the doctor, so that the person responsible for scheduling does not have to manually go through the process of checking each doctor's availability and then creating appointments manually at a regular basis. Now let's look at some of the major objectives that our application targets to achieve. So the first and foremost, the idea is to easily manage all the patient information and the doctor appointments in such a way that all this information is available on a single platform easily. Then a lot of reports are created in after an appointment has finished, and creating all these reports and then maintaining them manually on a particular system is a time-taking process. So our application also helps in storing those reports, and then it also helps the patients and the doctors to look at those reports in a convenient manner. Now there are thousands of patients who come to a hospital, so it is also important to keep the historical data intact, and of course needless to say that information needs to be kept in a secure way. So the application also helps providing the security options. Now there are again thousands of patients who would need to use this application, and then there will be a lot of doctors as well who would want to have a look at or use this application. And again there are a lot of other staff members at the hospital who would need access to this system. So there needs to be a centralized database in order to for the information to be accessible to everybody. And then finally the interface which the application uses should be convenient and easy to understand, and people who are going to use it, they should not need to be trained especially for this application. So basically the application would look like just a simple website, and no special training would be required by any of the users. Since patients happen to be the prime beneficiaries from this application, let us look at the data flow diagram in terms of a patient. So as we can see here, when a patient comes in, the first thing that is done is checking the status of whether it's a new patient or an old patient, if the system already has a record about the patient or not. So based on that, the patient is it is decided whether the patient will receive an appointment or not. Um, then if the patient happens to be a verified patient and the information is intact, the application would find possible appointments for that patient based on the availability of the doctors, availability of the patient in terms of dates, and the kind of service that they want to take. So based on all that information, an appointment is scheduled, and accordingly all the information that in the database is updated, and the doctor receives a notification regarding the appointment. And in case the patient decides to not attend for the appointment, or if the doctor happens to have any change in plans, the system also updates all the both the patients and the doctors with the cancelled appointment information. Now that we have the general gist of the application and the kind of services it will provide, let me call upon Vinay to explain the workflow of the application.
Thank you, Akhilesh. Now we'll move on to the next part of our PPT, which is the workflow. So in creating this project, we have used several tools and languages. Like we have used Visual Studio 2015, in which we have used PHP as our coding language. And for creation of our database, we have used SQL Server. And other language which we have used for extracting the data is SQL. So now let's have a look at the database. So here is our database MediTracker. In this database you can see that there are different tables, there are different views, and we have around 9 tables. And moving on to the Visual Studio part, so here we have all the web pages designed. So to log in, I'll just do a right click on this and view in browser. So it will automatically go to the login page. Right now we are doing this project on our local host, so this will show as a local host. But suppose if you want to use it on some other PC, then you can use it after installing all the softwares. So I'm logging as an admin. Okay, so I'm logged in as admin, and admin is the person who can who has the access for each and every tab, who can do all the things. The only thing which he can't do is the insurance reports and insurance claim. So in admin we can change the doctor info, we can add some doctor info. Similarly for the patient, any person can view appointments, or he can add an appointment. There are some rooms, if you want to add some room info or you want to book a room. Similarly, there are some discharge option, like when a patient is going to be discharged, or if there is a new discharge and someone else want to know that when it will be discharged, he can see over here. And similarly, when someone is claiming the insurance, he can put the new insurance, or if he wants to view old insurance, he can view here. And reports for the doctors. So let's add some doctor info. So suppose I'm creating some doctor QWE, date of joining is, it will automatically take it as a today's date. Designation is, let's put doctor. Phone is 405-780-5019. And working per hour 40, charges let's suppose 25. So after clicking on this, it will show a message that doctor info added successfully. Now if you want to view this doctor info, you just have to go over here and you can view the doctor info also. Similarly, you can do same thing with the patient. And for appointment, suppose you want to add an appointment, so you have to put your doctor name, then doctor ID, designation, and similarly you can click on this add appointment button and the appointment will be added. Now what if I log in as a doctor? Then there are some different tabs which I'll see. So let's log in as a doctor. Okay, so doctor can see his patient reports, his or her patient reports, appointments. So suppose if a doctor wants to add a patient info, he can do it here, and just after clicking on this add patient info, it will be added to the system, and you can see everything on the screen or in the database also. So let's moving on to the next part of our slide. So what all the learnings we had during our project? So first one is like scheduling and data management in healthcare. So before starting this project, we don't have much knowledge about the healthcare part, but like after like talking to clients and having more conversation with him, we came to know many new things about healthcare system. The second thing is we followed the agile methodology in our project. That is like we did our project in small sprints, and every time we do a sprint, we'll follow all the phases of our life cycle. Like we'll do development, and then we'll do requirement analysis, then development, then testing. Then if some new requirements will come, then we'll do the same sprint again. So that is what we followed in agile methodology. And this way, there were some challenges like new requirements were added in between of the week, or in between of some major work we are doing. So it was a good thing in terms of client perspective, because a client is uh, ready to give his requirements anytime, whatever you want. Next one is web application development. So before this, as this whole thing is a web application, so we are not very much used to that earlier, but now we had learned PHP and like how to make connections and all. And the fourth one is effective communication with client, that is to real time. So before this, like when we do our normal projects, we don't interact with client that in a real time situation, but this time we have to deal with the client in a real time situation. And the last learning which we experienced was the accurate interpretation of requirements. So while doing our project, as we followed the agile methodologies, there were like requirements which came in the between of a week or in between of a sprint. So that was really hard at some moment, because you have to change requirements in between of a sprint. So to maintain that and to manage them properly and continuing the sprint, that was really a tough job, and we did it nicely. So that's all. Thank you. अरे यार